Well, they were looking at me nasty, but then I did a one-on-one interview with the African-American female doctor, and I was thinking she was going to be against me, and I was still pitching my case. I said I saw how welfare reform worked in the city of Newark. I saw the stricter drug laws. There were less drug dealers trying to... And she's like, no, you're right. She was agreeing. She's like, you're absolutely right.
Well, we know what happened. I don't want to make this all about African Americans because it's by far and away out of control in this country from many other sectors. And the African American community is the least responsible for this political correctness, incidentally. It's not emanating from that community whatsoever. And I want to make that point clear. We know where it's coming from. We know who started it. We know how it works. We know who's running everything. We know who's jamming it down our throats. We don't have to look any farther than our own surroundings to know where it's coming from. Bill on WDRC Radio, welcome to the Savage Nation.
Hello, Dr. Savage. Bill from WABC, New York City, and I hear you on a station from Hartford.
Okay, so what's your point today?
I'd like to say, get off of my lawn. I am sick of these guys invading us.
Get off my lawn, you said? Get off of my lawn or my wand? I
am telling these guys, get off my lawn, because I'm over 50 now, Mike. I'm a white nationalist, and I'm telling you I am sick of the invasion. What's happening in our country? I am sick of the feminization of our men. Our men identify...
Well, don't get me started on the feminization of the male. I know when this started. It started a long time ago in the schools. They tried to drug it out of the masculinity out of the boys. They try to shame the masculinity out of the boys. It's been going on for at least, so far as I could tell, 40 years in our school system, where they virtually targeted the male. Both, it doesn't matter what race, the male was targeted. The male was targeted. That was the point. And so that's how they broke down the land of the free and the home of the brave, is by targeting the males. It's shocking to me that we still have men who can still fight, men who still go into the MMA ring, men who still enlist in the military, men who still enlist in the police force. I find it shocking that men still exist in the country. After what the feminists have done to the males in this country, both through social engineering and through drugs, I'm shocked that any boys have survived into manhood altogether. Incidentally, you say I'm crazy? Go look around and see what's going on. Go look around and see what's going on in your country. KERN, Bakersfield, California. Brian, very nice to hear from you. What's on your mind out of Bakersfield?
Hi. I was just earlier, you were talking about the whole sensitivity training thing that you had to go through in the university system.
Yep.
Well, I'm in construction, which you would think is more of an institution where you can joke around with each other. You know, you can josh around a little bit and this and that. Well, 10 years ago when I first got into it, you could razz each other and you could have a lot of fun with it. Nowadays, you can get fired for saying the vaguest little thing, and it's just kind of silly because it's construction.
This is what fascism has brought to America. This is what liberalism has brought to America. This is what all of the good women of America who have told us what not to say and what to say have brought to America. They've always been fascists. I've known them to be fascists, the mind controllers. Now, when you say you're not allowed to speak on your construction site, most of construction sites today have Hispanic men working very hard alongside others. Are they also constrained by these rules, or is it because they speak in Spanish they can say what they want?
They can say whatever they want. We catch them constantly saying negative things about us.
I thought that they were far more superior in that way. I thought Hispanics had more sensitivity because their culture was inherently wiser than ours. I thought that they would not revert to such things because their culture was so superior to ours. So it's just as I thought. It's targeted only at the white male. Is that correct?
Oh, completely. I mean, completely. You have Hispanic supervisors and general contractors that walk through, and they can hear it, you can hear it, and they don't say a word.
So the Spanish workers often espouse slurs on white workers. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Oh, no, all the time.
Really? Really? I guess we have to now ask for equal opportunity in the workplace and ask the government to supply us with some Spanish sensitivity workers on construction sites so they can monitor Hispanic workers in Spanish and hear what they're saying about other races. Maybe that would stop it.
Probably not, because they'd probably join in with them. Because we can't understand.
You get the picture. It's a country that is melting down socially at every possible level. Brian, I have a gift for you, my novel Countdown to Mecca. I'm sure you'll read it for Father's Day, or give it to someone who will read it for Father's Day. And again, if you missed this little note yesterday, I feel obligated to tell it to you today. It's a little housekeeping along the lines of I'm not for myself, who will be? If I'm only for myself, what am I? Ratings have come in for the last month. If I don't give them to you, you're not going to hear about them because no one tells you the other guy's ratings when they're good. They only tell you the other guy's ratings when they're bad. So I'll give you one from the East and one from the West. WABC, powerhouse 50,000-watt station in New York City. Ratings came in for the month of May. Persons 12 plus. The Savage Nation with Michael Savage is ranked number 1 on WABC. On the West Coast, San Francisco for the month of May. KSFO Radio, San Francisco. Persons 25 to 54. Number 1, Michael Savage, 12 to 3. Michael Savage, number 1. Congratulations, Mike. I guess I have to talk to myself in this PC world where I am only criticized and never rewarded. 855-407-282. This is a sad day, isn't it? And you could say, well, why aren't you talking about the trade agreement? Why aren't you talking about Rubio's boat? Why aren't you doing what the other show hosts are doing? It's because they do it. I don't have to do it. I feel it's far more important to take society's problems on in a different way, in my own way. And my own way is to talk about bullying. I've changed the paradigm of the discussion. I am pretty confident that because I have empowered so many people over the last 2 days to start seeing these people for what they are, as bullies, we can change the course of this society. By standing up to these freaks and perverts who tell us what we can and cannot say, and calling them what they are, which are bullies, and using the law against them for their bullying, we just might be able to save our freedom. I can't guarantee it. I don't know how many of you will have the nerve to actually do it. Certainly at the risk of losing your job, I wouldn't ask you to lose your job. But think it through carefully. Try to understand the next time you're confronted by one of these freakazoids that you have the power to say to them, hey, you're being a bully. I'm going to report you to the EEOC. I'm going to get a lawyer and I'm going to sue you personally. Stop bullying me. Get off my back. I'm a Christian. I believe in the Bible. You have no right to tell me what I can believe or not believe. You're a bully. I'll be right back.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now, 855-400-SAVAGE, 855-400-7282. Savage.
My Savage Nation is sponsored by SwissAmerica.com. It's the only company I trust to protect my wealth. Call 800-BUY-COIN.
Wherever you go, you will encounter people who doubt your very existence. Folks who believe that hard-working families with strong values don't exist on the south side of Chicago or in Detroit or in El Paso or in Indian country or in Appalachia. They don't believe you are real.
So she's become one of the chief bullies now in America. Whatever happened to the quiet first lady, the dignified first lady, the first lady who did civic things? How did she suddenly become such a bully? Any other questions? Because I have the answers. We're talking about bullying, and we're talking about the bully pulpit. In this case, it truly is inhabited by bullies. What else can they go after now? They've trampled our flag. They've trampled our country. What's left? Tell me what's left. These bullies. I'd like to know when there's going to be a counter-bullying in this country. Man, I'd like to see an army of 10 million counter these bullies. I'd love to see them stand up and scream in their faces. You know, wherever I go, I run into bullies, whether it's a nasty Prius driver on the highway trying to cut me off in the right lane with an Obama-Biden bumper sticker from 2008. Everywhere I turn, there's a bully. I went to the supermarket, for example, and I'm shopping, not bothering anybody, and I'm checking out. It was just jammed in the supermarket. All of the mothers were getting their coffee and giving their children donuts and coffee before sending them off with their current medication to the government school. And I swear to God, I'm standing on the checkout line. I had a lot of items, like 2 bags worth. And there was a woman behind me, middle-aged, decently dressed, 40 years old. Did you ever get someone who tries to push you through the thing that's just moving, like with your stuff on it? She has to put her coffee right. I'm talking an inch away from your stuff. And you're not through unloading your cart. And I look at her and say, excuse me, lady, I'm not finished yet. Could you take your flowers and coffee? I don't want to hurt your flowers and spill your coffee. She says, oh, my, you have nice radishes. I said, okay, fine. She said, my radishes were nice, very nice. All right, so she takes back the flowers and coffee and lets me have the conveyor belt back. Meanwhile, the clerk is ringing and zinging, and I'm moving up to the cash thing. And you know there's a little shelf right next to where you slide your card, where most normal people put their wallet or whatever they took the card out of, where you sign the bill? This woman puts her hot coffee cup on that shelf. I look at her, I said, lady, what's wrong with you? Why are you pushing like this? You know what she said? Nothing. Another drug-addicted Stepford wife in Marin County. There are bullies everywhere, on the low level, on the high level. We're living in a new age. I'm fed up with the society. If I were running for office, I wouldn't just be a meek taking it from the media type. I would demand a revolution in the country to save it. That's what I would do. I wouldn't even mince words. I say I want a revolution of borders, language, and culture. Period. That's what I stand for. If I'm elected, the military will be taken out of South Korea and Germany and put on the border with Mexico, with bayonets if necessary. We'll put tanks on the border. English only, especially at the ballot box. Do you know in this sick, twisted city, this corrupt city of San Francisco, the vermin who run it, made it legal for the voter pamphlets to be published in 6 or 8 different languages? Why? That's to make sure that the criminal gang stays in power. They have been put in power by the gangsters. The gangsters have been kept in power by the illegal aliens they have ushered into the city. If you can't read English, you don't vote in my country. If you can't write English, you don't vote in my country. That's language. Do I have to spell it out for you? And I'll tell you what the revolution in culture is. I can make it very simple for you. I can spell it out for you very clearly. This nation was built upon Judeo-Christian values. If you don't like it, it's too damn bad. No, we're not Wiccans. No, we're not Muslims. No, we are not those things. You can be it if you want, but you're not going to tell us this nation was founded by a bunch of devil worshippers, and you're not going to tell us the nation was founded by Muslims, because it was not. We don't chop people's hands off if they steal. We don't throw rocks at women who commit adultery. We don't throw homosexuals off roofs. This country was founded on justice and peace in the Judeo-Christian manner. Borders, language, and culture. That's my revolution. If you don't like it, it's too damn bad. Vote for me or don't vote for me.
Join the Savage Nation. Call now. 855-400-SAVAGE. 855-400-7282. Savage.
And you don't judge the fight on one round. Even if we get knocked down, we get up and go to the corner and come out fighting the next round. You won the first round, Mr. Prosecutor, but don't cut your gloves off, because the fight's not over. Justice will come to Ferguson.
This is one of the worst people in American history. He's done more harm to the social fabric than all of our foreign enemies combined, in my estimation. Al Sharpton was used as the street thug for the bully-in-chief in the White House, for Eric Holder in the Attorney General's office. They used this little street thug to turn a war on the police into an epidemic. The street thug, as you know, has not been heard from for a while. They put him on ice because they know what he did, and they know that it's too politically dangerous to bring the thug out from the curtain again. But you're talking about bullying? Does it get any worse than this thug attacking police for defending a city? And that's why I say to you, unless you stand up to these bullies now, all is lost. I know how this ends. I have studied communist revolutions. I know what equal outcome-based programs yield. It yielded this in the ex-Red China. After Mao Zedong became a dictator, he caused the Red Revolution. He unleashed a vicious epidemic of young bullies who tied red scarves around their heads, the Red Brigades, and they went around, just as these leftists are going around in America, intimidating the middle class, telling them that they were counter-revolutionaries, telling them they weren't PC enough. As a result, the finest surgeons in China were put into the laundries of hospitals, and uneducated peasants from the fields were turned into doctors. Does that sound familiar to you? Do you see what's going on right in front of your eyes? How long have I warned you that there has been a communist revolution in America? You don't understand. It's been done step by step, not through the barrel of a gun. But Obama's so clever. I should say the people who put the stooge in power are so clever that they used a different method of imposing a sort of communist revolution on